Coming up on Mountain News this morning, an Eastern Kentucky high school sees a jump in students who use nicotine products, and Governor Andy Beshear holds what could be his final weekly COVID-19 briefing.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good morning to you. It's Tuesday. It's just before 5 o'clock. I'm Dakota Maycris. Thanks for joining us. Let's take it over to Brandon for a look at our cold start to the morning. Brandon, it was absolutely beautiful yesterday afternoon. I almost decided to go for a walk at Perry County Park, but then I was like, no, I'm not doing it. I'll do it later.
The sun is too bright, can't do it.
Yeah, the sun is way too bright, but so I'll table that and we'll go back to it later.
It was a nice day yesterday. I was out a little bit helping shoot a promo over in Whitesburg, and I tell you, it was a very nice day, and it's going to be another nice day today. Maybe a few more clouds mixed in as we head through the daytime hours today. Let's take a look at our temperatures this morning. Splitting the difference there at 40 because we've got 30 to basically 50 this morning out there. So 40 is kind of the average of those temperatures out there. We're seeing 46 in Pikeville, 39 in London, 48 in Moorhead, 33 in Harlan, and 35 in Middlesboro. So a normal day to a little extra on your coffee meter depending on where you're at. Some spots a little bit warmer, some spots not as warm. Out the door forecast, we are going to soar into the mid to upper 60s later this afternoon. About 67 is the forecast high, and then it'll slowly cool off as we get past dark, which now is almost 8 o'clock. Dakota?
All right, Brendan, thank you. Well, brain injury is a leading cause of death and disability here in the United States. At least 3 million Americans suffer from a traumatic brain injury each year. Lewis Ferguson, an 18-year-old from Louisville, was involved in a severe car crash on October 11th, 2020. The crash was so severe that it caused him to have a traumatic brain injury. Lewis is sharing his story as March is Brain Injury Awareness Month. U of L Health Fraser Rehabilitation Institute was the team that worked on Lewis's case.
People like Lewis are often written off, and their families are told, you know, he's going to have to go home completely dependent. He may have to go to a nursing home. But by having a program like ours, we show people that, you know, life goes on. And although you may not be exactly what you were, you still are pretty special. And Lewis is very special in our eyes.
Neurologists report that car crashes still remain one of the top reasons people have traumatic brain injuries, especially among young Americans. Well, a recent study by the CDC suggests pandemic-related stress may be causing some teens to turn to vaping. The study found more than 2.5 million students use e-cigarettes. Pike County Central High School principal Dr. Timothy Klein says he noticed an increase in students vaping after they came back to in-person classes. The problem was so bad, Klein introduced a device called a halo in the bathrooms.
That are mounted in the ceiling, sort of like a smoke detector, but they warn us air quality index changes, temperature changes, any tobacco or vape, any of those chemicals. It shows up right here immediately, and we know. So we've been able to curb it quite a lot.
The school has also pushed for a reformative response to students who are caught vaping at Pike County Central, as opposed to the usual one-day suspension. Well, are we finally seeing the end of the COVID-19 pandemic, or at least is the worst over for here in Kentucky? Well, those are questions being asked as Governor Beshear said Monday's weekly COVID briefing would be the last one. Doctors and health leaders we spoke with say there are still a lot of unknowns. Health leaders say the virus will stay with us and anticipates the need for additional booster shots and possibly even a yearly COVID shot similar to a flu shot.
A lot of people, you know, you get your flu shot and you catch the flu and you don't feel good for a week and things go on. But there are some people who die with the flu. And I think that's what's going to be COVID.
A number of counties in our region remain in the red, but health leaders say even those case counts have improved in just the last few weeks. A ceremony at the state capitol rotunda was held to honor the work of the Children's Advocacy Center of Kentucky. Governor Andy Beshear and the Children's Advocacy Centers of Kentucky recognized the people who helped investigate and prosecute child abuse cases. Now, they were each given a cap and a plaque. These honorees were also in the spotlight for their compassion in helping children move on with a life of healing. Those awarded were nominated by the members of their community.
Being that advocate, being that voice for a child who's been abused is very important in our field, and we want to lift those folks up who do that.
Former Fayette County Commonwealth's attorney Ray Larson, who died this past August, was honored yesterday for his work as the founder of the Children's Advocacy in Lexington. His wife Betty was there in his place. Well, hopefully you have already changed that microwave clock and did not find yourself running late leaving Monday morning. Well, but even if you did, doctors say that the time difference may impair your performance driving. And it's not just about being tired. Now more people will be driving in the dark in the morning that are used to daylight. And you may notice a few other changes as well.
But it definitely impacts our driving skill, impacts our reaction time, impacts our moods. Even things like diet selection can show people are more likely to eat bad food, like more donuts or something, if they don't sleep as well.
Doctors say adjusting does not need to take a long time. Try waking up and falling asleep at the same time every day. Even weekends, I can tell you that does not work. All right, well, Kentucky's bourbon industry produced more than $9 billion for the Commonwealth in the past year. From 2021 to 2022, the industry has supplied more than 22,000 jobs for Kentuckians. And this past week, the Kentucky House passed a bill prompting a popular piece of the industry. House Bill 500 creates guidelines for distillers to sell exclusive bottles of bourbon on site. The bill also puts limits on how much can be sold. That bill is now headed to the Senate. Well, thank you so much for getting your morning started with us here on Mountain News this morning. Coming up, if you have dreams of visiting the nation's capital, you just might be able to do so in the near future. That's on the way.
After a beautiful day on Monday, we have another one on the way today. Some rain chances are back on the horizon, though. I'll have the latest forecast in about 3 minutes.